If the square of two consecutive integers are added, the result is 61. Find the integers. What do I start with? Yes. Good. And so what are we going to say?
Integer 1 is x.
The first integer is x?
And then the next integer is x plus 1.
Good. So now when it says the square of two consecutive integers are added, the result is 61, what are we doing? What's the first integer going to look like? The square of two consecutive integers are added. X squared plus the quantity of x plus 1 squared. Does that make sense? Look at the language. I'm squaring the two consecutive integers. I square this one, I square this one. And it also says are added. Those integers are added. Right? And is means equals. So now what would I do? How about Connor?
Would you square the x plus 1?
Uh-huh. And what do you get?
X squared plus 1. Or, wait. X squared plus...
Give me the whole next line.
X squared
Mm-hmm.
plus x. So x plus 1 squared is...
Ashley? Sophie Mesner.
Yeah, I have to do it.
Okay, guys, this is supposed to be mental math right here, just this portion. Look, I'm going to show you one more time.
I know. I got
Square the first one. Square this last one. Multiply them together. And then double them. So what is it?
I said x squared plus 2x plus 1.
No, but you left the other x squared out. I said, what's the next line? And you did not say that. You said x squared plus 1. That's what you said originally. So x squared plus 2x plus 1. Do you understand that this is this? Right? Yes? No? Maybe? Guys, I need something out of you. Okay, so you've got to get a little bit faster in squaring those binomials. Okay, otherwise your homework is going to take you 4 hours. So the next one I simplify to, it becomes 2x squared plus 2x. I'm going to subtract that 61. And that's going to become minus 60 equals 0. Are you guys with me? So now I can divide everything by 2. So I get x squared plus x minus 30 equals 0. What multiplies to negative 30 and adds to positive 1? Okay, so what am I doing next? X plus 6, x minus 5. What are my solutions? Negative 6, x equals negative 6 or 5. Now, if my solution is negative 6, what would the second integer be? Yes. Negative 5. If my solution is positive 5, what will the solution be? Yes. So in your answer column, you're going to give me something like this. Is that clear? Okay, pause the recording if you wanted to keep taking notes. All right, next question. The area of a rectangle is 30 units less than the area of a triangle. So I'm going to draw what they're talking about. The area of a rectangle means what? 30 less than minus 30. I have to move the term over, subtract it from something. Area of the triangle. Now they mention the word area, so something should come to mind, and that would be a formula. So what would the formula be for area of a rectangle? What's the area of a rectangle, please? Length times width equals 1/2 base times height minus 30. And then we substitute in. Are you guys good? Okay, what am I substituting in for length? And width. And then I'm going to substitute, the base is 4x plus 6, and the x is the height. Okay, now we're going to double distribute and finish it up. X squared plus 4x equals 2x plus 3 times the quantity, that whole quantity times x, and then minus 30. And now I'm going to distribute. I don't try and double distribute twice. I don't distribute this and this at the same time. That to me is recipe for disaster, losing negatives. So I do it one step at a time, and we end up with x squared plus 4x plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 30. Now we're going to move it over to one side. What determines the side we move it to? Jesse?
Don't want a negative x squared.
We don't want a negative quadratic, so we're moving the quadratic to the side where it's greater. So I'm moving everything to the right because 2x squared is greater than x squared, that quadratic. So I'm subtracting x squared and subtracting 4x. We end up with x squared minus x minus 30. What multiplies to negative 30 and adds to negative 1? Rand?
Negative 6 and 5.
Good. So, x minus 6 times x plus 5 equals 0. Okay? So my solutions are x equals 6 and negative 5. What is the best solution there, Carson?
6 because distance or...
Correct.
Yeah.
So they're only asking me for the height of the triangle, but if we want to, now we have the ability to find the base of the triangle, the length of the rectangle, and the width. Are there any questions? All right. Ready for word problem number 3 or 4? Is this 2, 3? I can't remember. No. All right, the picture problem. So, can you read it? Carson, loud.
A picture frame measures 30 inches by 20 inches. The picture inside the frame has an area of 416 inches squared. Find the width of the frame.
Okay, so we are looking for how wide is that frame? This part. Looking for this. So do we know what that is? So what do we call it?
X.
Yeah, we call it X. Okay, next. We're given this little hint of area in a rectangle, and so we're going to use that to write an equation with X in it. So, the thing is, I know what this is, but I don't know what the little one is. The length of the actual picture. So to find that, well, we've said that the width of the frame is X, right? Doesn't matter which direction, it's the same all the way around. Are you with me? So if we know that this is 30, And I know that this is x and this is x. What might this be in yellow? If the whole... Okay, Connor?
30 minus 2x
Yep.
equals 416.
No, that's just the length of the picture frame.
Oh, I mean,
Hold on. That is just 30 minus 2x is just the length of the picture. That's all we're doing. It doesn't equal the area. You're giving me the area. So what would be the width for the picture? How about Ashley? I'm talking about this. Okay. So I'm doing, okay, so we know that this is, what's that? And what's this? What is this little piece here? What's this little piece here? So if the whole thing is 20, and I don't need those two little x pieces, how would you write the width for that yellow part? 20 minus what? 20 minus 1x or 2 x's? 2 x's, because I want to get rid of this and this, right? Will give me, it's the whole, so 20 minus 2x is the picture's width. Okay, questions? Okay. Okay, questions? All right, so now we have something we can work with because it's a rectangle. So for that inside picture, I know the area, I know the length, and I know the width. And guess what we can solve for? What? What can we solve for? Connor, say the word, don't whisper it. I can't hear you when you're whispering. What can we solve for?
the length and the width, or the width, or...
I have the length, I have the width, I have the area. What can I solve for? X. And X is what? We named it. Don't say, I don't know what X is. We named it the frame width. You gave it that name. You guys gave it that name. So now I'm substituting in, right? Length is 30 minus 2x. Width is 20 minus 2x equals 414. 416. And now I'm going to either, I'll subtract the 416. And so now what? Divide by 4. And now what? Now what are we doing? Anybody? This looks pretty factorable to me. Okay, we're taping. Watch that sound. Okay, what multiplies to 46 and adds to 25? Rand? There's only two factors there. It's an even number. Yes.
23 and 2.
How about negative 23, negative 2? So x minus 2 and x minus 23 equals 0. X equals 2, x equals 23. What is the best answer? Now you're going to need some common sense here. Jesse,
2.
why do you say 2? So
It's the width. I was thinking of the length.
it's the width of the frame.
Width of the frame, so wouldn't it?
So it's from here. This is what we're talking about.
Oh, two. Yeah, okay, two.
Okay, so, but why?
Because
Small.
it's smaller.
Okay, Matthew?
Because the picture width, or the width of the frame itself is 20.
Yeah, this little piece can't be more than that, right? That's reason number one. If I substitute 2 in, look what I get. Now, if I'm substituting in, I'm going to have 23, so I'm doing 30 minus 2 times 23 is, what is it? Okay, so that's going to be 30 minus 46 would be negative 16. It can't be. Are you guys with me? So that's for 2 reasons. So my best answer is 2 inches. Questions? Questions? Okay, so the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 20 inches. Ready for the next one? Or are we good? Yes? No? Maybe? You need to pause it and take some notes? Okay. Hypotenuse of a right triangle. So what do I draw? Triangle. Okay. Is 20 inches. I label that. One leg of the right triangle is 4 inches longer than the other leg. So I'm going to label that. What is one leg going to look like? X. And the other one? Yep. Now we're in right triangle mode, so what am I going to use here to solve this? Let me hear from somebody new. Phoebe, what am I using to solve this? I'm in right triangle mode. Jordan? What am I doing next? They mentioned the word right triangle. They want the side. The same 3 people are answering my questions. I want to hear from somebody else. Carson.
A squared plus b squared equals c squared.
What's that called?
Oh, I knew this.
Yes. We're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. The second they say hypotenuse, you should be on red alert. The second you see right triangle, side length, that's your confirmation. It's time to use the Pythagorean theorem. I told you, nobody's going to be walking down the street and all of a sudden shoot a formula at you when you need to use it. You have to know when you're in the situation of a right triangle. But do you think that's silly? You don't think that, like, formulas are going to be shot at you in the middle?
Yeah.
What, when you're decorating your house? When you need to buy grass for your yard?
When you need a ladder.
Let's hope you're making that money. But when you need to order something to cover an area, you will need to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so I'm substituting in x squared plus, what is x plus 4 squared equal to?
20 squared.
No. Equals 20 squared, yeah, but what does the quantity of x plus 4 squared equal? Okay, Matthew?
X squared plus 8x plus 16.
Good, and so my next line is going to read,
X squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 4.
do you understand that, guys? I square the first term, I square the last term, I multiply the 2 terms together and double them. Now, at this point, when I'm here, I guess it could be 2x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 400. I'm going to divide all terms by 2. X squared plus 4x plus 8 equals 200. Subtract that 200. we get x squared plus 4x plus 192. Okay? I like to divide it by 2 first because I don't like the number 384. I can divide 400 by 2 and 2x squared, so, but it doesn't matter where you do that. We still end up at the same thing. X squared plus 4x minus 192. We're going to factor it. And now, I'm going to, so what multiplies to negative 192 and what adds to 4? This looks factorable to me. And it's very close to a perfect square. Negative 192, and it's 4 digits apart. So when it's close to a perfect square, 196, what's the root of 196? 14 times 14. This is 4 digits apart. What do you want to try? Has to end in a 2. Can't be 14 and 14. That's going to end in a 6. It has to be 4 digits apart.
12 and 16.
12 and 16. Go up 2, go down 2. Yes, it was. It was 12 and 16. Okay? And then my solutions are, one is negative, one's positive. So the 12 is negative. What are my solutions here? Jesse.
If the solutions are negative 16 and positive 12,
Negative 16, positive 12,
and the best answer would be 12.
and the best answer is 12. Why?
Because it's positive, you can't have negative.
Right. And so they want the length of the sides. Don't just give me 12. 12 is what?
12 is the shorter leg.
Is just the shorter side. If you put 12 in, you're going to miss a point. 12 and 4 is? So the length of the legs are 12 and 16. Questions? Okay, 2 more questions. Okay, draw a rectangle. Okay. Find the dimensions of a rectangle whose perimeter is 38. So if the whole perimeter is 38, this plus this plus this plus this equals 38, right? Can't we say that half of it equals 19, right? I could divide it in half like this. Or what if I just divide it in half like this? That's a way to divide it in half, right? So do you understand that this side, this plus this equals 19. This plus this equals the other 19. Are you with me? Together, each of those, together, added together, they equal 38. Okay, do we know the measure of just this side? Do we know it? So when we don't know it, what do we call it, Sophie Mesner? X. So I'm naming that X. I named it, you named it, we named it X. Now, we know that that side equals X. What about this? What are we doing here? So, we know that this whole thing equals how much? 19. And if this is X, and the whole thing from here to here is 19, what would just this piece be? Aurora?
19 minus X.
Exactly. And so now what we have are dimensions, and we have area. So we can use our area formula. Length times width equals area, right? Now the length is 19 minus X, the width is X, and the area, it gives us 84 inches, square inches. So we double distribute and set it all equal to 0. Okay. And now what multiplies to 84 and adds to negative 19? What multiplies to 84 and adds to negative 19?
Negative 12 and negative 7.
Yep. Yep, negative 12 and 7. So my solutions are 7 and 12. But what is the right answer here? Let's try both. Okay? That's where common sense kicks in. We're going to input. So if this is 7, what does this become? 12. Okay, that works. Okay, what if this is 12? That becomes what? 7, right? That looks like that works, right? What?
Wait, isn't the width?
Which one's longer? The longer one is 7 inches and the shorter one is 12. Does that work? No. So we got to have our common sense kick in. So x is going to be 7, and then that means that would be the width, and then the length will be 12. Can I show you one more problem? Yes. So you can try and start. Okay, distance problem. Distance equals rate times time. Remember, we are driving. This is one of these. Oops. We are driving. We're doing distance equals rate times time. A boat travels upstream. Upstream, right? And back again. So what does that tell me about the distance? It's going there and back. It's the same. So my distance, and we've got upstream and downstream. Are you with me? So the distance is going to be 12 and 12. The rate. Do we know the rate? The rate is going to be, the rate is 2 miles per hour? What does it say? If the rate of the current, what does that mean? Stop. If the rate of the current, what is that? That's how fast the water's moving. So my distance is going to be 12 both ways. My rate, how do I show the rate going upstream? Going upstream. Is that going with or against the current? Against. So how am I going to show it, Rand? R minus 2. But what going downstream, it's going to be R plus 2. Okay? So R minus 2, R plus 2. Now the time, the whole trip took 3 1/5 hour. Not there, not back, the whole thing. Okay? Now the way I'm going to write my time, R minus 2, R plus 2, 3 1/5. Remember we said distance equals rate times time? Well, to get the time, all I have to do is divide the distance. So this is, what's the distance? It's 12 divided by the rate is R minus 2. So this is 12 over R plus 2. We're adding them together, and there's our equation. Are you guys remembering this? Okay, it's not changing. So wait. Multiplying and clearing. When you get your answer, again, remember you're going to have multiple answers. Shh. Please stop. So we've got to take the one that really makes sense for the situation. And in this case, I've got negative 1/2. Speed can't be negative, so R has to be 8. Okay?